My wife texted, "Spending the week at Dad's. He's not feeling well." I responded, "Send him my best." Day 4, divorce papers were delivered to the couple's resort, Bungalow 23. Her caretaking turned into 39 hysterical calls before I blocked her number. I'm Oliver Cole, 34, software engineer, married for 3 years to Amelia Reed. We met at a tech conference in Boston, got married fast, and she moved into the house I'd bought in the suburbs a year before we met, did the whole American dream thing. I thought we were solid. I thought I knew her. I was wrong about a lot of things. Tuesday morning, I'm making coffee when my phone buzzes. Text from Amelia saying she's spending the week at her dad's place because he's not feeling well, and that she misses me already. I stare at it for a second, feeling that weird gut twist you get when something's off, but you can't name it yet. I text back sending my best wishes and hoping her father feels better soon. Professional, supportive, exactly what a good husband says. But my brain's already doing the math. Henry Reed, her father, just got back from a fishing trip in Montana 3 days ago. I saw the photos he posted on Facebook, grinning like an idiot with a massive trout, looking healthier than I've felt in years. Guy's 62 and runs marathons for fun. Not feeling well. Yeah, right. I sit there with my coffee getting cold, thinking maybe I'm paranoid, maybe he got sick after the trip, maybe I'm being crazy. But then I remember the last 2 months. The late nights at the office that stretched past midnight. The new password on her phone that she changed without mentioning it. The way she pulls away when I try to kiss her, like I'm some stranger on the subway. The constant mentions of Dylan Hart, her coworker from the marketing department. Always Dylan this, Dylan that, Dylan's so funny, Dylan's so creative. I'd laughed it off because I trusted her, because that's what you do when you're married, right? You trust. Stupid. I open our shared location app, the one we set up years ago for emergencies, for peace of mind, for all those good reasons married people track each other. Her little blue isn't at her father's house in Connecticut. It's 200 miles away at Clearwater Springs Resort, some fancy couples retreat I've seen ads for online, all champagne sunsets and romantic getaways. My stomach drops. I refresh the app 3 times thinking it's a glitch. The dot doesn't move. Clearwater Springs Resort. I sit there for maybe 10 minutes, just staring at that blue dot, feeling everything I thought I knew rearrange itself into something ugly. Then I do what any modern betrayed husband does. I check her email. We share a family account for bills and subscriptions, but she's got her personal Gmail linked on the home computer because she's always forgetting passwords. I know it's wrong. I know it's an invasion of privacy, but right now I don't care about right or wrong. I care about the truth. It takes me 5 minutes to find it. Email confirmation from Clearwater Springs Resort. Bungalow 23. Reservation for 2. Guest names, Amelia Reed and Dylan Hart. Check-in yesterday. Check-out Sunday. Premium package with couples spa treatment, champagne breakfast, sunset dinner cruise on the lake. My wife and her coworker booked a romantic week together while I'm home alone eating takeout and working remote. I screenshot everything. The reservation. The confirmation number. The location app showing her at the resort. The email thread where she and Dylan coordinated the trip, talking about finally getting time alone and how they can't wait to just be together. Every word feels like a knife. I'm methodical about it, saving everything to a private folder, backing it up to the cloud, making sure nothing gets lost. Evidence. That's what this is now. Not marriage. Evidence. I remember something my brother Daniel told me 3 years ago when he went through his divorce. He said the biggest mistake he made was confronting his ex immediately, giving her time to hide assets, delete messages, spin the story. He said if you know it's over, you stay quiet and you prepare. You get a lawyer first. You protect yourself first. You don't play fair with someone who's already cheating. So I don't call Amelia. I don't text. I don't drive to that resort and make a scene. Instead, I call David Crane, the divorce attorney who handled Daniel's case. He answers on the second ring. I tell him who I am, remind him we met at Thanksgiving a few years back, and explain that I need his help. He tells me to come to his office immediately. 2 hours later, I'm sitting across from him in downtown Boston, sliding printed screenshots across his desk. David looks them over with the dead-eyed efficiency of someone who's seen this exact story 100 times. He confirms it's clear adultery with good documentation, explaining that in Massachusetts this strengthens my position significantly. He asks how I want to proceed. I tell him I want it done fast, that I want her served while she's still at that resort, want her to get divorce papers delivered to Bungalow 23 while she's there with him. David raises an eyebrow and notes that's aggressive. I remind him that she texted me this morning claiming she's caring for her sick father, that she's looked me in the eye for months while planning this betrayal. I tell him I'm not giving her the courtesy of a heads up. He nods slowly and says he can have papers drawn up by tomorrow, have a process server deliver them by Thursday. He asks if I understand this will be nuclear. I tell him good, let it burn. I drive home in silence, hands steady on the wheel, brain on autopilot. When I get back to our empty house, I walk through each room like I'm seeing it for the first time. The kitchen where we used to cook together. The living room where we watched movies. The bedroom where we haven't been intimate in 3 months. It all feels like a museum now, preserving something that's already dead. I sit down at my desk, close the laptop with all that damning evidence, and stare out the window at the street. Normal people doing normal things. Walking dogs, mowing lawns, living their uncomplicated lives. My phone buzzes. Text from Amelia saying her dad's sleeping, that she misses me and loves me. I don't respond. I just screenshot it and add it to the folder. Thursday morning, I get the confirmation from David. Process server delivered the papers to Bungalow 23 at Clearwater Springs Resort at 11 a.m. Guest signature confirmed, Amelia Reed. I pour myself a scotch even though it's barely noon. Let her enjoy her week. It'll be her last one as my wife. My phone explodes at 11:47 a.m. 16 missed calls from Amelia in the span of 10 minutes. Then the texts start flooding in. Messages demanding I call her right now, saying this is insane and that I can't do this, begging that we need to talk. I watch them come in like I'm observing weather patterns, detached, clinical. I don't respond to a single one. By noon, it's 32 calls. By 1 p.m., 39. Then silence. She's figured out I'm not picking up. Good. Let her sit with it. Let her feel what panic tastes like. David calls me that afternoon. He tells me she's trying to reach him too, that she left 4 voicemails and seems very distressed, wanting to negotiate. I tell him to inform her she needs to get her own lawyer, that this isn't a negotiation. The next week is a blur of legal paperwork and strategic silence. Amelia tries everything. She shows up at the house while I'm at work, but I've changed the locks. She emails me long paragraphs about misunderstandings and mistakes and how we can work through this. I forward them all to David without reading past the first line. She reaches out to my friends, my coworkers, even my mother, spinning some story about a mental health crisis, about me acting erratically. But I've already told them the truth, shown them the evidence. Nobody's buying her act. What strikes me, though, is how contained her panic feels. Like she's upset but not destroyed. Like she's following a script for what a betrayed wife should do when caught, hitting all the right notes, but without real emotion behind them. It bothers me in a way I can't articulate. 3 weeks later, we're sitting in David's conference room for the first formal meeting. Amelia walks in with her lawyer, some slick guy named Marcus Webb who looks like he bills $800 an hour. She's dressed conservatively, minimal makeup, playing the wounded wife. She won't make eye contact with me. Marcus does most of the talking. He states that his client is willing to agree to an uncontested divorce, that she's prepared to accept a fair division of assets and move forward amicably. I expected a fight. I expected her to demand alimony, to drag this out, to make me pay for humiliating her. But she's just agreeing to everything? David glances at me, equally surprised. He carefully notes that's very reasonable and suggests they can draft terms immediately. Amelia finally speaks, her voice soft and controlled, saying she just wants this over with, that she made mistakes and doesn't want to make this harder than it needs to be. It sounds perfect. Too perfect. Like she's reciting lines from a teleprompter. We hammer out the details over the next 2 hours. Split the house equity 50-50. She keeps her car, I keep mine. Divide the savings. No alimony on either side. She doesn't fight for a single thing. Just nods and agrees and signs where Marcus tells her to sign. When we're done, she stands up, looks at me for the first time, and tells me she's sorry for everything. Then she leaves. David waits until the door closes before commenting on how strange that was, that he's never seen someone give up that easily in an adultery case, that usually there's at least some pushback. I suggest maybe she just wants it done, but I don't believe it. David says maybe, or maybe she got what she wanted. That night, I sit in my apartment. I moved out of the house into a place downtown and try to feel something. Relief. Satisfaction. Victory. Instead, there's just this hollow space where my marriage used to be and a nagging sense that I'm missing something obvious. The divorce is finalized 4 months later. Quick by Massachusetts standards for an uncontested case. I sign the papers, she signs the papers, a judge rubber stamps it. And just like that, 3 years of marriage dissolve into legal documents and asset splits. I should feel free. I feel watched. 2 days after the divorce is official, I find an envelope slipped under my apartment door. No stamp. No return address. Just my name written in block letters. Inside is a single photograph. Amelia and Dylan Hart sitting in a coffee shop, laughing. But here's the thing. This photo is recent. Like, within the last week recent. I can tell by what Amelia is wearing, a blue jacket I saw her post on Instagram 3 days ago. I flipped the photo over. Someone's written in the same block letters. You were right about the affair. Just wrong about who planned it. I stare at those words for a long time. Wrong about who planned it. What does that mean? Dylan planned it? Amelia? Someone else? I pull up Dylan's social media for the 100th time. His profiles have always been minimal, generic stock photos, barely any posts. I reverse image search his profile picture. It's from a free stock photo website. Model release and everything. Dylan Hart isn't real. Or he is real, but he's not who he said he was. I spend the next 6 hours going down a rabbit hole. No employment records. No college history. No digital footprint before 2 years ago. It's like he was assembled specifically to exist in Amelia's orbit. Professional actor? Private investigator? Something else? At 3 in the morning, I'm still awake, staring at that photograph, at those words. You were right about the affair. Just wrong about who planned it. And then it hits me, the thing David said weeks ago. Maybe she got what she wanted. What if Amelia wanted the divorce? What if she needed me to initiate it, to be the bad guy, to look like the controlling husband who stalked his wife's location and served her papers at a resort? What if the affair was bait? I pull up our divorce agreement on my laptop and read it again. Actually read it this time instead of just skimming. The house equity split. The savings division. The retirement accounts. It's all exactly 50-50, which seemed fair in the moment, seemed reasonable. But I bought that house a year before we got married. The down payment was my money. Legally, in Massachusetts, that might have given me a stronger claim to a larger share. But I was so angry, so focused on just ending it, that I didn't fight. I just wanted her gone. She played me. The thought drops into my head like a stone into still water, sending ripples outward. She knew I'd check her location. She knew I'd find the emails. She knew exactly how I'd react because she knows me, knew me better than I knew myself. She set the trap, and I walked right into it, thinking I was the hunter. I look at my reflection in the dark window of my apartment, and for the first time since this started, I feel genuinely afraid. Not of Amelia, of how completely I misunderstood everything. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but something makes me pick up. Hello. Silence for 3 seconds, then a man's voice. Mr. Cole? This is Dylan Hart. We should talk. We meet at a diner in Cambridge, one of those 24-hour places that smells like burnt coffee and regret. Dylan Hart walks in at 2 a.m. looking nothing like his profile photos. He's older, maybe 45, with the tired eyes of someone who's done this too many times. He sits across from me without ordering anything. I look at him and say he's not a marketing consultant. He shakes his head and explains he's an actor, does stage work mostly and some commercials, that this was just a gig. I repeat his words back to him with disbelief, asking if he helped destroy my marriage for a gig. He says quietly that he helped end a marriage that was already over. He tells me my wife hired him 6 months ago through an agency that specializes in this kind of work, relationship exit strategies they call it. He played the interested coworker, they created the digital trail together, planned the resort weekend. Everything I found was meant to be found. My hands are shaking. I ask him why he's telling me this. He says because she's done, that he got paid and signed an NDA and everything's finished. But from what he saw, I seemed like a decent guy, and he's been doing this job long enough to feel sick about it. He slides a business card across the table. Discrete Solutions, LLC. Relationship Transition Specialists. He continues explaining there are 5 other guys like him working for this agency, that they handle maybe 40 cases a year. Wives who want out but need their husbands to file first. Makes them look like the victim, gets them better terms, keeps their reputation clean. He tells me my wife's the 3rd one he's worked for this year. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I ask if she actually paid him to pretend to have an affair with her. He clarifies he never touched her, that they had coffee 3 times in public places, sent some flirty emails from an account she controlled, booked that resort in both their names. He checked into a different bungalow, stayed one night, then left. She was there alone the whole time. But I saw what I expected to see. I mentioned the location sharing, how she knew I'd check. He confirmed she turned it on 2 weeks before the trip, made sure I'd see exactly where she was. The emails were left in an account she knew I could access. Everything was staged. He stands up to leave and apologizes, says he really is sorry. But then he tells me I should know I'm not the first, and suggests I check my lawyer. I ask what he means. David Crane, he says. Why do you think she agreed to everything so easily? Why do you think he pushed you toward that specific settlement? He walks out before I can respond, leaving me alone in that fluorescent-lit diner with a truth I don't want to believe. I call Daniel at 7 a.m., waking him up. I ask him about his divorce lawyer David Crane, specifically who recommended him. Daniel sounds confused and asks what's going on. I tell him just to answer. He says he found him online, some divorced dads forum or something, that he had great reviews. He asks why. I hang up and start searching. It takes an hour, but I find it. A pattern. David Crane has handled 63 divorce cases in the last 5 years. In 41 of them, he represented men who filed for adultery. In 38 of those cases, the wives were represented by Marcus Webb, Amelia's lawyer. And in every single one, the settlement was 50-50 or better for the wife, despite the adultery claim that should have hurt them. They're working together. The lawyers are in on it. I'm staring at my laptop screen when my phone rings. Amelia. I answer. Hello, Amelia. Her voice is different now. No tears. No desperation. Just cold efficiency. She tells me she figured I'd work it out eventually, that I was always smart, just not smart enough. I say she set me up. She says she helped me leave a marriage I didn't want anymore either, that I was miserable too and shouldn't pretend otherwise. She says we stopped loving each other 2 years ago, but if she filed for divorce, she'd look like the bad guy, lose friends, face questions, deal with judgment. This way I filed. I'm the one who gave up on us. She's the victim who tried to make it work. I point out the affair was fake. She counters that my reaction was real, that I tracked her location, went through her emails, hired a lawyer without talking to her. That's all true, all documented. And honestly, she says, that's controlling behavior. Some people might even call it abusive. The word hits me like a slap. I tell her I'm not abusive. She responds calmly, listing everything I did. Monitored her location without her knowledge. Accessed her private emails. Had her served with divorce papers at a resort to humiliate her. Those are facts. Her therapist has it all documented. So if I'm thinking about exposing this little conspiracy theory of mine, I should remember how it'll sound. Scorned husband can't accept his wife left him. Creates elaborate story about fake affairs and lawyer conspiracies. She asks who's going to believe me. I want to scream, to throw the phone, to do something. But she's right. She's completely right. I finally ask her why go through all this? Because I wanted out, and I wanted to win, she says simply. I didn't love you anymore, Oliver. Maybe I never did. But I put 3 years into this marriage, and I wasn't leaving with nothing. This way, I got half of everything, kept my reputation, and you did all the work for me. You even paid for the lawyer who helped me. She pauses and mentions that David's very good, by the way, that he'll bill me for another few months, send me updates on post-divorce paperwork that doesn't exist. By the time I figure it out, the statute of limitations on attorney misconduct will have passed. I tell her she's insane. She says she's practical and that she's not the first wife who's done this. She won't be the last. Women are just getting smarter about divorce. The line goes dead. I sit in my apartment surrounded by evidence that means nothing. Proof of a con so perfectly executed that exposing it would only make me look worse. She played every move perfectly. Used my trust, my anger, my sense of justice against me. She knew exactly what I'd do because she knew me better than I knew myself. 3 months later, I'm sitting in a different apartment in a different part of the city, starting over. I don't date. I don't talk about the divorce. When people ask what happened, I just say it didn't work out. Because what else can I say? That my wife hired an actor to fake an affair, so I'd file for divorce, while her lawyer and my lawyer conspired to make sure she got exactly what she wanted? That I fell for every single part of it because I thought I was the smart one, the one in control? I keep that photograph, the one that was slipped under my door. The one with the message about being right about the affair, but wrong about who planned it. Sometimes I look at it and feel angry. Mostly I just feel stupid. I thought I was playing chess. Turns out I was never even at the board. I was the piece being moved. And Amelia? She was always 10 steps ahead, watching me think I was winning right up until the moment I lost everything. She played me perfectly. And the worst part is, I still don't know if there's anything I could have done differently. Maybe that's the real trap. Not the fake affair, or the corrupt lawyers, or the carefully constructed evidence. The real trap was thinking I ever had a choice at all. What do you think about this story? Let me know in the comments, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more real-life stories.